Hi, I'm Congressman Scott Garrett, and I have the honor of representing New Jersey's 5th District here in the United States Congress. This Saturday, our nation will celebrate the 224th anniversary of the signing of the U.S. Constitution. And as chairman of the Congressional Constitution Caucus, this day is extremely special to me. Our first president, George Washington, once said of the Constitution, "It is the guide which I will never abandon." And I couldn't agree more. The oath I took to support and defend the Constitution of the United States is something I take very seriously, and it's what guides me in my work here in Congress. I founded the Constitution Caucus way back in 2005 because I'm dedicated to the restoration and promotion of the Founders' vision for an American democracy and the principles of freedom enshrined in our Constitution. The Constitution Caucus mission is simple: to promote an American future that remains true to its revolutionary past. So in the spirit of the original intention of our Founding Fathers, the Constitution Caucus advances legislation that restricts congressional action to the enumerated powers of the Constitution, and then returns those powers not delegated to the federal government back to the respective states. So recognizing that the Constitution can only be preserved if it lives in the hearts and the minds of the American people, the Constitution Caucus provides an effective forum, if you will, for education on founding principles and the appropriate limitations of congressional action. So, as we prepare to celebrate Constitution Day this Saturday, I would like to take this opportunity to discuss the importance of this great document with you. The Constitution was born in a time of crisis. The Articles of Confederation, America's first attempt at drawing up a system to guide the original 13 colonies, was ultimately unworkable, and it was doomed to failure. So when the Constitutional Convention met, it was during a time of great uncertainty. The very survival of the United States and the notion of a democratic government depended on the success of this new Constitution. So we now know that the Constitution was a success because when the founders were drafting the Constitution, they established a framework of government that lives up to the promise of freedom. See, the founders recognized the ancient yet eternal truth that man is born with natural and God-given rights that cannot be legitimately taken away by any monarch or government. Only when we read and understand the Constitution can we truly appreciate the beauty of this document and the genius by which it protects our liberties through the restraint of government. In drafting the Constitution, the founders divided the federal government into 3 branches and empowered those branches to check and balance against each other. The founders explicitly defined the limited powers of Congress and reserved those not delegated to the federal government back to the states and to the people. And most importantly, the founders made sure that the Constitution recognized that all power is derived from the consent of the governed. So that's why our Constitution elegantly begins with the words, "We the people." Today, there is a great public debate regarding the proper role of government. In the wake of mounting deficits and the debt and the excessive growth of government, the American people are demanding a renewed commitment to the Constitution. Americans know that the neglect of the Constitution's limitations on the government power basically threatens the liberty of every citizen. Today, when we look at the size and the scope of the government, can we honestly say that we have adhered to the vision of the Founding Fathers? It's hard to imagine that the founders, who were suspicious of large and powerful central government, ever envisioned a federal government strong enough to command you to, say, buy insurance, health insurance, and dictate what types of light bulbs you're allowed to have in your home. So history has proven that limitations on government are quickly lost when the Constitution is neglected. So as we mark the Constitution Day this Saturday, we should honor the revolutionary generation by rededicating ourselves to the Constitution. We must commit ourselves to abide by the Constitution so that the American experiment in democracy will be preserved for our generation and generations to come. That is, after all, our patriotic duty. So thank you, and happy Constitution Day.